You know what I love about the internet is that people are so relentless to prove that someone is a scam or a con artist. I really love that about the internet because they go out of their way to expose these people and really put darkness into light. Because really and truly, it's not cool to be scammed, right? Like we've seen it over the past few years, whether it be Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, or this Sadia Khan woman. You know, we've seen these people preach things on the internet, but they do the absolute opposite behind closed doors. Maybe not more so Andrew Tate, but there's been people like Donovan Sharp, Fresh and Fit, Sadia Khan, more other people. The list goes on. But point is, this is what we need on the internet. Not to shame and laugh at, but for lessons that this kind of stuff will always be exposed. But anyways, for those of you who have a job like me and don't keep up to date with these situations, don't worry. We'll break it down for you. Let's get into the video. So this woman's named Sadia Khan, and if you've seen her on social media, she refers to herself, or she's always been referred to as, a psychologist who talks about the high value male and the high value woman experience. And, you know, she's been out here giving advice, giving mentorship to men on how to be real men, to women on how to be real women, all types of stuff like that. The point is, the woman has been doing this. And I just found out recently that she's been charging people. Now, if that's her business, cool. You got to make your money. But 8,000 a session? 8,000 to 9,000 a session. How evil does one be? And to be honest, how stupid does one have to be to pay for this course? If you're an individual who has paid for this course, or any individual that's paid for this course, you're an idiot. Point blank period. I have no mercy or sympathy, because how do you fall for that? Realistically speaking, it's like you wanted to be scammed. You could have used that money to buy a car, pay your rent, buy a house, something, give it to your moms. You gave it to a woman how to learn to be a high value male or woman. Well, if that's what you want, that's your money. You're just dumb for that, you know. But recently, this Sadia Khan woman has been exposed. If you want to see a full in-depth exposure video about this woman, just watch Abba and Preach as well. I don't need to do any more work because them niggas did everything. Abba is insane. He just went on. He did the digging, he did the detective work, everything like that. The video is too good for me to just say into simple words. But point blank period, to summarize so that you watch that video, he exposed the living crap out of her.
What can I do about it? I'll suck it if you have an attitude, and I can do it today if I want to.
So she's talking to a woman because she's Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go on. And I can do it on your wedding day and your birthday.
Okay, well, we'll see.
After.
Okay.
I've been in situations where he's been with you in a social setting. He'll call me after.
He found out that her psychology degree was fake and Photoshop. He found out that the number that she's lying saying is AI, it was actually her. He found out a bunch of things, but point is, everything about this woman is a sham and a scam. She's a compulsive liar. She gives off the wrong impression every single time, and she's manipulative as heck. I always say this to people, right? I said this to my friend today. If you're watching this, you know who you are. But I said this to him the other day. The best forms of manipulation, or the best kind of lies that you could tell somebody, right, is lies with truths in it. So once you put truths in it, right, because a lot of people wonder, how do you get manipulated in X, Y, and Z? You get manipulated because there's truths sprinkled in. And once that person has seen that you've eaten up the truths that they've sprinkled in, that's when they start to put their own BS and lying narratives into it. That's how all these people get to scam these people, because they're charismatic and they know what's true and they know what will ring to people's hearts. To the point where when they do finally get them in their catch, they will start to put their own agenda and manipulate things to a demonic kind of level. That's how they get their money. That's how they get their fortune, because they are that good at being manipulative. And we see with this Sadia Khan woman, right? She'll go on the internet talking about the high value man experience and the high value woman experience. And everything she said wasn't necessarily wrong. However, when she then got exposed for her lies, it took her long enough to get exposed for her lies in terms of her degree and X, Y, and Z, because everyone already saw her as credible. She said a lot of truths.
Dating you and I'm fully committed to you, I'm fully loyal to you. And then I realize you're still disrespectful, you're not being kind to me, you're not giving me attention. I know I did my best. Bye.
But when I talk about getting girls, I don't mean having sex with girls. I mean the ability to reject women. Some men have only been rejected by women and they've never said no to a woman, ever, because they've just been the ones that are always getting rejected. But other men have been with women, not been with women, got girls, not got girls. They're like, okay, I can't be bothered with her today anymore. They've learned that skill where you can say no, you can turn it down. Those men, I feel like, tend to be better partners. What's happening is men think that they're in control more than they actually are. Men think they're the pigs because, well, especially with the podcast scene, they'll tell you, oh, women, she ages out at 30, or this woman, yeah, Myron, dumbass. But they'll say women age out at 30, women, your timeline is so short. They don't realize that for women, especially in this day and age, the timeline is endless. When a woman turns 20, she's got every guy from 18 to 30 following her and messaging her. But when she turns 30, she's just got the same amount of men just pushed forward. It's 30 to 40. When she turns 40, there are still men 40 to 60 seeing her as a young chick. If she's attractive, her queue is endless. Mm-hmm. And what men think is, oh, but she's 35, she's over. Oh, but she's been with guys. So it doesn't work like that anymore, because before it might have been like that because everybody in your town has coupled up. But now, especially if she's got an open Instagram profile, the offers are endless.
She knew a lot of things about this space, you know? And of course, she knew about the high value male experience because the whole time she was a side chick, which, by the way, isn't a high value woman thing to do. This is where everyone has a problem with it, because she's talking about teaching women how to be a high value woman, yet she's been a side chick the whole time. That ish doesn't really make any sense. You're grimy for that, in the sense that this woman was actually going to get married and she was just there ready to pounce on this woman's fiance. It's disgusting. But the point is, when we see situations like this, it's not difficult for people to get scammed. Anybody can get scammed. Anybody can get manipulated. Because so long as someone can get you in the moment, whether it be you're vulnerable or something that you're looking for, someone can get you in the moment with some truths, right? Of course, you're going to blindly believe them because they've told you some truths. You see, a lot of these people's business strategy is to make you feel like shit, dump, dirt, garbage. They try to make you question about why your life sucks and things of that nature. They try to, present you this picture perfect, rose tinted glasses lifestyle where there's money, high value this, high value that, and then they compare your life, which is a completely good and normal life, because they're weighing it up to those standards. Of course, it's going to look like your life is nothing. And then they put you in this position where you're vulnerable, where you're emotionally sad and upset, you're reacting to it, and then out of frustration or of sadness, you then sign up to this course or sign up to their manipulation because you want to feel better. You want to feel like you're not a loser, whatever it is. And that's down to you. Some people could say it's a self-confidence thing, but I think it's just simply just manipulation, in the sense that, like, it's that whole warping your reality to make you feel like your life, which is, again, good, is the worst thing ever. Yes, your life could need some improvement, things of that nature, but you will never match up to this picture perfect lifestyle that they're selling you. That's the product they're selling you. They're selling you the value of a better lifestyle that's 9 times out of 10 impossible to get. And then now you're going to fall in for that trap and think you need to do some drastic work to change yourself, when the whole time you're a regular civilian and everybody's in the same position as you. Not saying that, oh, you shouldn't strive for greatness. However, you shouldn't be made to feel bad as if your life or the current position you're at in life sucks. That's not how it's meant to be. But they know that. That's why they try to manipulate you through that means, because it's easy when you sell someone a fake Fugazi product and make them feel like their current product is the old. That's what you want to buy the new. Us as human beings want to always buy the new thing. And anytime we have old things, even if we bought it just yesterday, the fact is tomorrow could have a new and improved model that has maybe 1 or 2 improvements to it, and the humans will go and chase after that. It's what we see with the iPhone. The iPhone changes like 1 or 2 things every year, and we still rush to buy that. So it's the same thing they do with your lifestyle. That's how they manipulate you. Of course, they're going to make you feel like shit, because that's how they can get you to pay into their courses. So when we see situations like Sadia Khan, Fresh Affair, X, Y, and Z, exposés will keep on happening. However, as the exposés keep on happening, there will be a new person who rises, a new person who builds a persona, a new person who will go long enough to the point where by the time they get caught, they're already rich. Because the fact of the matter is, Sadia Khan is rich. And there'll be another person who scams their way. And then maybe after 2 to 3 years, they will get exposed. By the time they get exposed, it's too late. They already have all the money that they want. They have all the money that they need. It doesn't really matter if they get exposed because, oh, well, they've made their money. I can't name one person who has never been exposed for their lies. In this life, there is no lie on this earth that has just gone away with their lies. And we see it on the internet every single day. Every single day. Which is why it's most important to remember, that when you act a certain way in public, you have to make sure you act like that in private. It speaks on your integrity and character, because It's not what you say in public. It's not what you preach in public. It's not how many Bible scriptures you know in public. It's not how many good motivational things you can say in public. It's what you do when nobody is looking at you. How do you treat people? How do you treat your family? What do you say? What do you think? What do you do in private that if people saw you in public, you'd be ashamed of? My mom always said that thing to me, right? She always said that whatever you would not be proud of doing in public, don't do it in private. You may think it's a secret as of now. You may think that, oh, nobody knows and what's the worst that can happen. But everyone will know eventually. Which is why I'm encouraging all of you, please, no matter how small it is, because everyone has something that they're doing behind closed doors, right? Everyone has something they're doing behind closed doors and your head is telling you it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Nobody will ever know. And to you, it really, truly isn't a big deal, but it is a big deal. So I encourage all of you to make sure that you live the lives that you portray to everybody else. I know a lot of people are doing that because if you're watching this, we're the realest channel on YouTube, you know? So I know there's a bunch of real people subscribing to me, but we have to be very mindful of how we act. And it's very easy to not act how we act in public because I guess, you know, there's a certain kind of confidence where you're by yourself, you know? And it's not as if all of us do it on purpose, but we sometimes catch ourselves. Whether we be saying little lies or we do little things that are just not right. I speak to myself as well. And we have to catch ourselves and be like, no, that's wrong. I need to stop that immediately. We all have that something. And I feel like to act like that's not a real thing is a lie and disservice to yourself. So individual watching this, thoroughly examine yourself. Use whether the Bible or, you know, thoroughly look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is everything I do in private good? Is everything I do in private of good integrity? Is everything I do in private, you know, something that is true to what God would want? Because if it is, you have no problem. But if you're not, know that you have more work to do. Doesn't matter how small it is, whether it be a little white lie. Would you like it if people knew you were a liar in public? Or whatever it is, whoever you're mean to or XYZ, would you like that people didn't know in public? Don't do it for public perception. Do it for the simple fact that you're striving to be a good person. Yes, they are scam artists in the bigger scale. But some of us, a lot of us are scam artists on the lower scale. We lie, we steal, we lust, we look at other people when we have a partner, you know. We offend people, we speak rudely, we speak sharply, we type weird comments on YouTube or social media, whatever it is. We got to do better, man. We have got to do better. Here we can see all the exposing stuff that she's been exposed for. You know, she's been exposed for lying about her master's degree and stuff like that. She's lied about being a high value woman, however. She's a side chick. And she's even lied about, you know, being a person who has good emotional control. However, what we've seen is that the things that she types to people is actually pretty demonic stuff. Like she says some really dark stuff. Like she be out here calling people prostitutes and harassing people.
Story on her the other day because she edits her videos and I thought it was very funny. I criticized her in the video because it was very obvious that she puts waist filters on any video where her full body is shown, and in a lot of her videos she's talking about how much self-confidence she has. But when I called her out, she lost her goddamn mind. It's now been about 48 hours and she has spent the last 2 days accusing my followers of being animal addicts, being cheaters, being prostitutes, and everything in between. But today she started a new trend. These are videos that my followers sent me. A person left a comment on her page, and she tried to call them via audio 4 or 5 times. And then when they wouldn't pick up, she left the threatening message that you'll see scroll by here: pick up, or I'm gonna post your address online. And here's another one from another one of my following. Pick up, don't be scared. Don't be scared, pick up, calling over and over and over and over again.
Photoshop a bit better, Karen. We can see the curves in the wall. Not everyone is raised to be a sleut. Shut up, my content isn't for hoes. Get off my page. Kind regards.
And this is a woman who says she's a high value woman. There's a woman that claims that she's emotionally stable and she knows how to give good advice to other people. It's either she's pure evil or she's delusional. Whatever the case, or both, whoever the case may be, this woman is something and it's anything but good. The point is, don't use it as an example to laugh or to judge. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on. That's what we keep doing with these situations. We acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on. Let's work to be better people. But that's all I have to say for you guys. What do you guys think of this video? I'd be interested to see the conversations in the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and that be it, my people. God bless, take care, and I'll see you guys next video.